You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number 157 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Thursday, July 6th, 2023, and as you can see by the sun on my face if you're watching, it's going to be a sunny day here at the Beaver Lodge. Still a heat warning if you're living in the central part of Canada. So please make sure that you dose the amounts that you spend outside and make sure you drink plenty of water, particularly if you happen to be an older Canadian, because many people don't know this, but as you get older, you get less thirsty and your ability to sweat also reduces. So if you're an older Canadian, you may be feeling this a little more. So just make sure to prompt yourself to keep hydrating. All right. Also, it is a special day today because it is the birthday of one of our sponsors from Corvid Moon Publishing, Lori. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday also to Kit Jazzy. Happy birthday. Happy 19th. So, that's a big one. I hope you have a wonderful time. And of course, because today we're going to do it the right way because we're a little more awake, happy belated birthday to you, sir. Mr. Grizzly. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, A. And with me, as always, as I just mentioned, is Mr. Grizzly. Of course, a big thank you goes to our founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Tuesday morning nibble for you. We had hoped to have Scott McGregor on this morning. However, we kind of realized that 7 in the morning is when he's preparing his day trades. So we'll have to probably record something out of time and then rebroadcast it for you. But we will have him on. Mr. Grizzly, how you feeling? How's your mental health today? Are you a little more rested?
Hey, Mr. Beaver. I am a little more rested. Not much. I'm still groggy, to say the least, but a little bit better than yesterday. So, yeah. I think mental health is okay.
Right. Got any fun plans this weekend for your birthday?
No, none. Zero. None.
Oh.
None. No.
Okay.
Nothing.
Oh.
I'm the last 48 hours have been a blur to me. So
yeah,
I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I don't even know what I'm doing at work today. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, while we let the day come into focus for you, it's kind of fortuitous in a way that Scott wasn't available because there's a huge story that broke yesterday.
Yeah.
For the very, 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 very first time in Canadian history, charges of
Oh, yes.
terrorism have been laid as they relate to the creation and distribution of propaganda, and particularly hate propaganda. Um,
Yeah, it's there's freedom of expression, but there's limits on it, and this
oh
guy
yeah, yes.
went way beyond that.
Oh yeah, it went way beyond that. So this is very new terms of a way that we do things here in Canada, because normally charges are tied to known attacks, known plots, or having traveled abroad, for example.
Hmm.
But this doesn't have to do with any of these. This has to do just with basically ongoing activities and operation of a group. So a 26-year-old from Ottawa, because we will not name their names because they
No,
get enough attention. Thank you very much.
which is what they want.
And
Not
glory.
trying to give them any
Yeah.
more.
But a 26-year-old from Ottawa, for the first time in history, prompted the RCMP to lay terrorism and hate propaganda against an individual advocating a violent far-right ideology. He is facing 3 charges of participating in a terrorist group, facilitating terrorist activity, and commission of offense for a terrorist group, in this case, the willful promotion of hatred. Um, the first 2 charges carry a maximum of 14 years in prison. The second charge on its own, if you're just engaging in the willful promotion of hatred, only has a maximum of 2 years. But
Mm,
when added to a terrorism offense, um, basically carries a life sentence.
yeah,
Um,
you know,
so if found
he
guilty,
threw away his
he could
life.
be going to jail for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah,
In addition, in Canada, terrorism offenses, so the first 2 charges, are intended to be served consecutively, not concurrently. So this could be 14 years maximum for each of the 2 charges, and then an enhancement that can go all the way up to life for propaganda, promoting hate.
yeah.
Uh, this guy was unmasked by Vice News in 2021 as an alleged key architect of the neo-Nazi propaganda for something called the Atomwaffen terrorist group, or Atomwaffen division. It was designated as a terrorist group by Ottawa in 2021, as it promotes acts of violence against racial, religious, and ethnic groups, as well as police, informants, and bureaucrats. And their objective, of course, because they are a white power accelerationist group, is to accelerate or promote or speed up the collapse of society, because they believe
Mm,
society is completely collapsing because people like me have the same rights as they do.
and they don't like
So
that.
they have to speed up the collapse of society so that they can basically burn it all down and start fresh by making the country in its image.
Their image, the one they choose.
That's the one they choose. So freedom to live as they tell you to. Once again, we keep on saying it. That's the real freedom. The Atomwaffen division hasn't really existed since about 2020, has been replaced with the next iteration of it called the National Socialist Order, which by many is deemed to be basically a reiteration of the same group, just with maybe 1 or 2 different players. This is much more of a leaderless white power accelerationist movement rather than an actual organization. There's no set leader, and that is why the propagandists at this point become very, very, very important, because this guy is essentially being credited, for lack of a better word,
Mm,
of creating the entire aesthetic for the Atomwaffen division. And so, get people to be interested in it, interested in the look. They think, cool, watch a couple of videos, maybe then come to a meeting, maybe, right? So this is the recruiting. But it's, like I said, not a formal organization, right? It's almost like this convoy thing where they, where we sort of found in the public order and emergency inquiry that there was no real leader. There seemed to be like little people that sort of self-declared themselves leaders of little factions, and then they ended up spending most of the time arguing amongst each other. So this is similar. It's sort of like this amorphous sort of group, because if there's no actual leader, then who do you charge, right? Well, the RCMP just switched up the game now.
Well, and it's good because these are bad people who are going to do bad things, and if they can get away with it, they'll continue to get away with it. And you got to nip it in the bud, is what it boils down to. And you're going to have somebody try and say, well, their rights were violated, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure they consulted with constitutional lawyers before the charges were laid and pressed.
Oh, yes.
And remember, we have freedom of expression, not free speech. And there are limitations on that freedom of expression. Hate speech is against the law.
Mm-hmm.
It always has been. And you can think those things, but if you start to publish them and spread them, you're going to, well, FAFO is what it comes down to.
I'm not sure if hate speech was always against the law. I know that the official laws came somewhere in the 80s or 90s, I think.
Yes.
Talk about it.
You are correct. You are correct about that.
But I mean, come on.
Well, and hate speech qualifies as it's not like saying you hate a person; it's hating a group.
Yes, and
right?
and actually trying to promote harm coming to them, or calling for harm to come to them.
Yeah, and again, in a group, not like I hate the fans of such and such sports franchise. No, it's like an ethnic or a racial or a religious.
All the protected classes that we have in our charter.
Correct.
Right. So according to the CBC, the RCMP said in a news release that this case is the first in Canada in which an individual advocating a violent far-right ideology has been charged with both terrorism and hate propaganda. This material was intended to promote the group and recruit members, and encourages the commission of terrorist activities. There was a second individual that was arrested and could face charges at a later date. The RCMP has not named that individual, but said that they are from Kingsley Falls, Quebec. Quote, "We are going to assess the evidence that we've gathered in the file and make a determination in regards to possible criminal accusations against this individual as well," said Inspector David Baudouin, who runs the RCMP's Integrated National Security Enforcement Team, or INSET. If you ever hear that, that's what they're talking about. And that is based in Montreal, and they're the ones who led the investigation. Baudouin added that while the RCMP investigation did not find any imminent threats to public safety, the Mounties did take action against other people. Quote, "There are a few other people that were identified as a result of the investigation. The RCMP has taken some disruptive actions to make sure to contain any potential threat moving forward." According to Public Safety Canada, the Atomwaffen Division was founded in 2013 in the United States and is a neo-Nazi group. It also goes by the name National Socialist Order, which we have mentioned, and was listed by a terrorist entity by the Canadian government on February 2nd, 2021. Let's see, the listing says the group has been violent at public rallies, including the 2017 rally in Charlottesville, and that the co-leader of the group, an American, is banned from entering Canada. The RCMP said,
Did we lose Mr. Beaver? Are we still live? I can't tell if we're still live. I think Mr. Beaver is frozen. He is definitely frozen. I don't know what happened there. His computer may be booted. Shows that he still has a strong signal, but it looked like it looked like he shut down. I had to turn off a fan in the background because it was creating all this extra noise for me, and I didn't care for that. Thanks, Toronto Dan. So okay, well, hopefully Mr. Beaver will be back in a minute. He is frozen solid. I don't know what happened. I'm going to take him right out of the thread. So his computer may have crashed on him. Sometimes, as you well know, that happens, and for some reason, mine is not focusing, and it's fuzzy, but the camera image on my monitor is actually in focus. I have a second monitor over here to track the live feed, and it looks like I'm a little blurry. Maybe it's because of the exhaustion. I don't know. Oh, it's It's rough. So we'll wait till Mr. Beaver gets back so we can discuss. And I gotta clean up my microphone paraphernalia here. I was going to do it later. We'll wait till he gets back before we discuss further and in detail the monumental arrest. I wanted to say record breaking, but there was no record for that. But it's a first, and I think there will be more to come because you got to crack down on this. It's I know I've been blurred for a few days. I rebooted my computer. I don't know what's going on. I might have to reboot my router. That might be it, because I think the issue is the image is my upload is not uploading at what it should. I mean, I paid extra money to get a faster connection. Maybe I'll have to do it again. I just lowered it to 720p from 1080p and see if that'll improve it. Maybe I'll have to go down to 480. Now there's Mr. Beaver. He's back again. We'll bring him into the feed here. Did your computer crash, sir? Oh, looks like he's still got some issues there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it did, which is really weird because I turned
it was
it on
weird.
5 minutes. Not like it's been on like for 5 hours and I have no idea where I was because I was
weird because you
reading from the article.
Yeah.
And then I looked back at the screen one moment and I had stopped moving. I don't know where I was when I off. Yeah.
No, sorry, because I jumped up to turn off the fan in the background. I'm like, what is that noise? No, sorry, I don't.
Oh, jeez.
I don't.
Okay, so
trying to fix my feed here.
I happen to repeat myself. Yeah, if I happen to repeat myself, I am so sorry, because I don't know where I stopped. So again, the police said that the material was intended to promote.
Go ahead. There's a massive delay right now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Continue. There's a massive delay, which is throwing you off. So just keep speaking.
Yeah. Okay. The material was intended to promote the group and recruit members, encourages the commission of terrorist activities. We are going to assess the evidence that we've gathered in the file and make a determination in regards to possible criminal accusations against this individual as well, said Inspector David Baudouin, who runs the RCMP's Integrated National Security Enforcement Team, or INSET. So if you ever hear of INSET, that's what they're talking about. They're based in Montreal, and they're the ones who led the investigation. There were no imminent threats to public safety, but the Mounties did take action against other people. Quote, there are a few other people that were identified as the result of the investigation. The RCMP has taken some disruptive actions to make sure to contain any potential threat moving forward. Let's see. The AWD had previously held training camps known as hate camps, where its members receive weapons and hand-to-hand combat training. The listing says that the group has been violent at public rallies, including the 2017 rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, so only the best people. Right? And that the co-leader of the group, an American, is banned from entering Canada. Jessica Davis, terrorism expert, and who's the president of Inside Threat Intelligence, told CBC News Network's Power and Politics that the terrorism charges in this case differ from most such charges. They are very serious charges. They're interesting because they don't seem to be tied to any active plot or ongoing and facilitating terrorist activity. So it really shows a bit more of a broadening of the concept of what terrorism is in Canada. Which is good in this case. Kausar Ahmed, a professor of political science at the University of Winnipeg, said McDonald's skill set, I just mentioned his name, damn. This guy's skill set is in high demand among such movements. Quote, propaganda plays a very vital role in far-right idea dissemination, he said, comparing the far-right's use of visual propaganda to that of the Islamist terrorist group ISIS. Ahmed said that at Atomwaffen's height in around 2016-2017, he documented roughly 2,000 to 3,000 followers of the group, and said while the group has gone largely underground since its members using pseudonyms, the guy who was arrested has been pretty much the exception. So it seems that he was pretty much out loud and proud. Quote, he continuously supported the group even after the 2021 listing of this organization as a terror group. Yeah, he's fully bought in.
Oh, yeah.
He's fully bought in.
I think he shares the same name as the guy who wrote Ram Ranch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I read the name, I'm like, oh no, not him. The Ram Ranch
So,
guy
yeah.
lives in Toronto.
Yeah. Okay, good. Some chin up, ass out terrorist. It seems so indeed.
Yeah.
Uh, it's always a little maybe it's because I'm Canadian and we don't get this in as other places. I mean, we're not new to terror, FLQ and all that kind of stuff, right? I mean, it has existed in this
Yeah.
country, but it's not like this big rampant thing.
Yeah.
I always find it really, really, really disturbing when there's an arrest like this in our country. It's still, I mean, I keep on thinking, like, if I were American and I lived in the United States and I heard of yet another mass shooting or yet like this, like how many, I'm still shocked, right? I'm no longer, sorry, not shocked. Yes, well, I'm still shocked when they happen. I'm just not surprised, right? I saw something on the news saying that there's already been over 20 mass shootings in the United States in July alone. Right? There's they're closing in on 700 this year already. Right? Throughout the entire
20
country.
Yesterday.
Yeah. And I don't know how many we've had in Canada in that time. Right? I mean, the difference is just that stark, and it's the same thing with terrorism. I mean, obviously, the United States is a bigger target, but we don't really get. I mean, sometimes we go a full year without there being a charge, right? So it always like just has a little moment of, oh, that was a little closer than I would have liked it to be, right? But congratulations on our RCMP and security forces and intelligence in order to capture that, and to people who are practicing the law who tried to find a way to get, I won't say creative, but better ways. Let's say better ways, innovative ways to apply the law. In order to get to the source of the program.
There's been a concern for a number of years in both the United States and Canada, and it's fact that these groups have been actively recruiting, conditioning, and creating these elements within the military and the police services in both countries. They get them when they're very young. They groom them. They get them into the military or the police, and they own them. It's kind of like The Departed, the Matt Damon character in The Departed. They get them very young, get them in, and they're crooked, they're evil, they're organized. Like the song says, some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses.
Yep. So hopefully that goes through the courts and the charges stick and there's a conviction.
We should get Mubin on again to have a discussion with him about this, because he would know more than he's smarter than the average bear.
Yes,
he would know more about this.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Should look into that. Do you have anything, Mr. Grizzly?
I thought I had something here that I wanted to post. Hang on, let me just pull up the graphic. This I thought was an interesting graphic. I caught this online the other day, and I meant to show it yesterday, but I was here, but not really.
Okay.
So I saw this online. Christofascist. They're taking the old Reform Party symbol. They've put a crucifix in there and put it inside the C that is the stylized C for the Conservative Party of Canada.
The
Christofascist.
Reform Party.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I said, yeah, it's the Reform Party logo. Gaslighting Canadian Conservatives since 2003. Well, before that, but we had a different name. We were the Canadian Alliance, or Reform before that. And everyone thought we were all crazy religious extremists. True, but we got the name, so screw all you simple idiots. Oddly, the bread and butter of the party is not fiscal competence. We like to spend a lot more money than Liberals do. And by a lot, I mean a lot. Ridiculous amounts of money. We manage that by pulling funds from social programs and veterans funding. So it appears we're trying to save money for Canadians. Then we spend all that money we save via those cuts and a pile more enriching our friends and donors. If you're extremely wealthy, we're the party for you. We'll give you so much you won't even care your customers are too poor to buy what you're selling. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Wow.
That is super accurate.
Wow.
That is super accurate about that part. They
You
will
need to
cut
send me
social
that.
programs to save money, but what they're really doing is enriching their donor friends. And they're not even hiding it anymore.
No. This is right in plain sight.
Right in plain sight. What Doug Ford's doing to the Greenbelt, what Doug Ford is doing to Ontario Place, what he's going to do, what he plans to do the Ontario Science Centre. We're going to tear it down because it's an old, nasty building. Oh, okay, so somebody has bought all the land directly across the street from it where they're going to be building. What they want to do is put a transit station in place of the Ontario Science Centre, and the person across the street has bought all this land that they're going to they're not even trying to hide it anymore. If you look at who's on the board of Therm, a company that's not been around that long, like the board members all point to, oh, it's Dougie's donors. And they still haven't opened up the vetting and bidding process for that. No, it was done properly. Nobody's seen it.
Mm-hmm.
They gave a company that's less than 20 years old a 95-year lease in a country that is 156 years old. I'm going from, Confederation is what I'm talking about when it gets down to it, right? I know the country's much older and there were people here long before any of us ever arrived, but you get what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah. I saw this going around because there was like a tweet going, oh no, the Conservatives would never cancel anything science now, would they? I mean, there's no history. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, the McLaughlin Planetarium was open from 1967 to 1995. The planetarium was closed by the Mike Harris government despite being profitable and having climbing attendance.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he had said that nobody was going there, or like a maximum of who went. Oh no, that was Doug Ford too. Yes, science. Only 3 people went there. I think there was a similar line as well too.
Yeah, maybe 3 people went there in March of 2020 when the whole planet shut down, Doug. But you can't pick and choose those facts because we're smart enough to know that that's what you're doing. He's so crooked. Oh. It's exasperating. And so last night I went to the Scotch and Cigar Club with the boys, and one of my buddies there, who is a lifetime progressive conservative, hates Doug Ford more than I do. It's because he says he's destroyed the party. He is not progressive. He's not conservative. He is a money-grubbing Republican, and the corruption is so in our faces that he's like, they're making no efforts to try and hide it anymore because they've gotten a few wins with doing stuff in public, so they've gotten so cocky and so confident they will continue to do whatever the hell they want, and they don't care what you think. They don't care. You got a graphic for me, sir?
Yes, I do. We have Colin DeMello here from Global News that is reporting, quote, in case you missed it, portions of the current Ontario Science Centre might not make the cut when the facility is rebuilt at Ontario Place, according to an Infrastructure Ontario RFP, request for proposals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember early on, people were saying, oh, well, what's happened? And Doug Ford says, well, it's, yes, like the plot of land is smaller, but, we're going to build something. And everyone was saying, it's going to be smaller. It's going to be smaller. It's going to be smaller. Oh, no, don't worry. So it seems that, because like Doug Ford likes to have fun with definitions of stuff. It's like, hey, we're going to build a new Ontario Science Centre. We're going to keep the hallways. We'll keep the employee staff room. We'll keep the lobby and the bathrooms. But, oh, well, look, there's not a lot of room for all the science-y stuff. Wow, gee, you look stressed. How about a facial? I happen to know a guy.
How about a facial?
There's a new joint that just opened. Lack of science got you down? Come have a pedicure.
Oh,
the Doug Ford Spa. And
and don't worry.
here's
There's
the
lots of
kicker.
parking. There's lots of parking. Ontarians paid $450 million for it.
Yeah, and here's the other kicker. Also, word on the tweet is that there's other things going on. You know that thing that Rob Ford wanted to do when he was mayor, sort of break a casino downtown, and everybody said no, we don't want it. Well, Doug Ford's a little bit like a dog with a bone, right? When he said he wouldn't touch the green belt, and they sort of went underground for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, oops, I got my hands all over the green belt. I'm feeling right up, right? Well, oh yeah, okay. Well, the casino. Okay, I guess people said no. Well, it turns out that that thing is not actually all that dead.
No, of course not. He never let go of that.
He never let that know. It seems that that's still going on. Meanwhile, in the background, he's still trying to build his little casino. Not that he hasn't already given all the newspaper sports betting, the newspapers that cover him, sports betting. Because everybody's upset by that national subsidy, like this, that if you buy a newspaper subscription and you declare it on your taxes, you get a little bit of a refund. Oh, that's Justin Trudeau buying your vote. Because the premier allowed newspaper companies who are pretty much insolvent to try, try and keep yourself solvent. I'm going to give you exclusive sports betting.
Yes. Yeah, that's owned by Torstar, is it not?
Yeah.
And Torstar is looking to open a casino in downtown Toronto.
And Torstar is looking to merge with Postmedia. How convenient. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So now Postmedia is going to get all the gambling revenue too, once they merge, right?
Yeah.
They literally have to depend on people who gamble to try and keep them afloat. And then the premier that gives them all this windfall, because nobody sees any problem with the people that got this big windfall covering the premier.
Here's a bunch of cash. Whatever you do, don't tell on me, okay?
But they have a problem with the government of Canada giving you a little tiny rebate if you decide as a citizen to keep local media alive by buying a subscription.
Yeah. Again, the corruption is so out there in your face that they can't.
Oh my God, they think we're.
They're not even trying to hide it.
They think we're stupid, man. The repeated insults to our intelligence, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like, we still see you, motherfuckers. We still see you. And you got Husakos, Senator Husakos all over the web too, like just doing revisionist history all day yesterday. And it's like you do realize that we still see you. We still remember you.
I didn't see what he did yesterday.
Everything. Just, you name it. Every single topic that's up there right now, he put out this apologist, historic, revisionist thing. It was just, he was very, very busy working on behalf of Canadians yesterday. He wasn't doing any party work at all on the public dime yesterday. None at all. No proof whatsoever. Senator Greaseball, have a seat. He actually hold on. I do have to find one because one was just so damn out there.
Oh yeah.
Oh darn. Is it? Oh, maybe I did that from the personal account. He was actually, yes, there we go. That's the one. Oh. Okay, come on. Cooperate. Senator Leo Husakos. Ah, yes. So brave, so tough, standing up to Facebook and Google. Where's this guy when it comes to standing up to Beijing and the rest of the world's tyrants and dictators? 1. 2 words. Meng Wanzhou. Meng Wanzhou. While you and your buddies were telling him to play kitty, 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 or no, play good puppy and roll on his back and show his belly.
Get a good
scritches.
Rub.
Yeah. Or saying that we should have just disobeyed our own laws or been unfaithful to our largest trading partner, the United States. So here's the thing, right? At the same time, they were saying, like, go down to the United States and you tell Joe Biden that he needs to bring back Keystone right away. And Energy East and all of that stuff. Like, he needs to do that. And at the same time, tell the Joe Biden that you are not going to respect our extradition order.
That's not it's not how it's supposed to work, man.
Go tell the same country you're trying to get sweet deals from that. Oh yeah, when it comes to espionage and stealing intellectual property, yeah, we're just not. We're too busy to help. Sorry.
Well,
washing our hair. See how well that works out for you, conservatives.
It's not good.
1, 2 words. Meng Wanzhou. Number 2, visual reminder. I sent them that little clip of Prime Minister telling Xi Jinping where he can stick it.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, just shall we have a little visual
I think we shall,
Yeah.
sir.
memory lane?
It's not.
Hashtag
it's way out of
got you,
focus.
motherfuckers.
There we go.
So we got number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 conservative MPs silent after Poliver saying they regret meeting with German politician. Oh, look at them. Oh, 3 conservative MPs standing with an actual genuine Nazi, like actual genuine, like from Germany.
Yeah.
Coming over. Let's see what else. There's thankfully former PM Voldemort. Oh, just like tipping champagne glasses with Hu Jintao, the former chairman of the People's Republic of China, when he committed us to 31 years to FIPA with a communist nation.
Yes.
An expansionist communist nation, and didn't think that we had the right to know anything about it. Oh, no, sorry. We did, our MPs that represented us were allowed to have 1 hour in a committee to ask all the questions they had of a deal with a global superpower that'll be in place for 31 years. But
not to mention the fact that that deal, if we go against it, they can sue us into oblivion, basically.
And then again, thankfully, former PM Voldemort, post PM, but with Viktor Orban of Hungary. And you were saying, where's this guy when it comes to standing up to Beijing and the rest of the world's tyrants and dictators? Where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
All this happened on your watch. Senator Greaseball, have a seat. Take a seat. Put some crazy glue on that seat and stay there for a while. Don't get up. Sit your ass down. Enough out of you. Seriously.
Yes,
Seriously. They are really, really bad. And here's the thing, right? Not only does the Prime Minister have the support of Quebecor, not only does he have the support of major news organizations all throughout Europe, because basically he's leading the charge for the entire world, Canada and Australia.
Right now, yes.
And of course, they're picking on us, right? Because Australia and Canada, when you're thinking about the group of progressive nations, right? We're very progressive, but we're kind of isolated. We're all the way in the northeast, and Australians are all the way down in the southwest. And, well, you know, they have this big monolithic neighbor, China. We have this big monolithic neighbor, the United States. And, well, you know, if they can break us, well, then they can break what Europe is planning it for years and what the United States seems to be planning to do. So they're really trying to, you know, again, China's using Canada once again with sometimes you got to choke the chicken to scare the monkey. Sometimes you got to kill the chicken to scare the monkey. Sometimes. That's a Chinese proverb. We're the chicken in this equation. We're always their chicken. That's why we can't relent. That's why we can't have conservatives in power, because conservatives in power, when it gets a little hot and trade is affected for even one day, they fall apart. Sorry, no, don't do this. Okay, we'll give you what you want. And then they point at everybody else being weak.
Well, yeah.
I remember Harper took that big stand when he came in. We're gonna tell China, and didn't go to that Summer Olympics in 2008, and then a couple of years later, then finally went to China, and then he got dressed down in public. China was like, "Belle heure pour arriver." It's about time you showed up. And then Harper apologized by surrendering our sovereignty for 31 years.
Yeah. But
he really stood up.
But they accuse Trudeau of being a communist almost daily.
Well, he admires the basic dictatorship of China.
Wait a second. You got to watch the whole clip.
Remember? No. Don't talk about anything that happened after he said those words. Don't talk about anything that happened before. Don't put it in context. Remember, he just said he
said this. Yeah, he did. He was quoting.
He said it.
Oh, no, that was it. That's nothing happened before or after that. That was it.
But he promised. But he said. Reality be damned. What he said. He said something 15 years ago. He dared change his mind once. These people are so lame and predictable. How are we doing for time, Mr. Grizzly?
We got to start to wrap it up. I got to get into the office. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do. I just got a text a minute ago letting me know. So, yeah, we'll have lots of time tomorrow because it's Friday. So,
yes,
I'm
and
working from
if
home.
everything goes well, hopefully we'll have Evan Scrimshaw joining us. I
Yes.
haven't confirmed with him this week. Last week we did,
Mhm.
but sometimes things happen. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed that we will have him because, you know, we have like by-election stuff to talk about
Amongst other
in
things.
Toronto and stuff to talk about. And he's got all the numbers and just like, ooh, it's just in Alberta stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
there's stuff. There's things and stuff.
There's things and stuff. Okay, we'll wrap up here then, Mr. Grizzly, because we have a show. Kits and Cubs. That's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. We hope that you enjoyed listening to us because, well, we love doing this for you. We really, really, really do. Because democracy is something that you do, please donate to the Red Cross and please write your MPs and senators again to let them know that you demand better. Remember, sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. And you have the mouths that we want the word coming out of. So please, if you can, let peeps know about us. If you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. That's actually a bit more of a tongue twister than you'd think it would be, actually. Stars and reviews are appreciated, so please be generous. And we really do love hearing from you, so please reach us on our Facebook at True North Eager Beaver, our Twitter feed at True Eager, or by email via truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. And if you want to get something from us as soon as it comes off the bandwidth, please subscribe to our pod page, podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver. We're a little late on getting this week's shows out on podcast form, unfortunately, but they will come.
I'll get it as soon as I can. I'm just, I've been kind of.
You've got lots going on. That's
busy.
fair. Be kind to and gentle with yourself. That's what we say. But they will come. So it's not that we've. Of course, by the time you hear this one, you will. If you're listening, you are audio only. You will probably have heard
all the other
three
ones
or four before. So, time travel, yay! Why
but
not?
for those who like to listen, there's a lot of folks will watch us live stream, but they might have missed something and can't necessarily sit and watch, so they'll listen the audio version. So
right, exactly. Why not subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel? We see that some of you have. Thank you very much. Our numbers are going up. That helps us out big time. We're closing in on 300. We need your help, so tell people about us. We can't do this without your kind and generous support, so if you feel we've done a particularly good show, if you're watching, you can scan the QR code on the top left, which will come up really soon, and that will bring you to our emergency hydration hot chocolate, coffee, Guinness, and Caesar fund. And if you're listening, please go to coffee, that's spelled ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters, all in one word, and that's where you can go to make your donation. And if you're watching, that squiggly that just appeared below me, that brings you to our pod page in order to subscribe to our podcasts for download. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom?
Oh, sorry, I put myself on mute there by accident. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, words of wisdom. Wear a condom, do up your seatbelt, put on your helmet, drink lots of water, wear sunscreen. That's all I got. I'm struggling today, as you can tell. I'm doing better than I was yesterday, obviously, but I'm still a little tired. I'm really, Saturday's got to get here because I'm sleeping until 7 a.m.
Woo-hoo. Oh, you wild man.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Look at that boy in the bed there. Jesus, I'll tell you this. Now. Sleeping his life away. That's what he's doing. I heard something funny yesterday. If you want to be able to speak like a Newfoundlander, you need to use the following words in a sentence: oil, beef, and hooked. Or you can use whale oil, beef, and hooked.
Okay. An example?
Well, oil be fucked. Oil be fucked. Use it in a sentence. Well, oil be fucked. There. That's how you sound like a Newfoundlander. Or oil beef hooked. Oil be fucked. That's how you sound like a Newfoundlander.
Mr. Grizzly, please roll the credits.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
And Mr. Grizzly, we have a couple little up thank yous to our kits who have been very generous to us. Kit Raygirl, thanks for the daily sit down. I enjoy you keeping me up to date on current events when I fall behind. Thanks for that. And thank you for the very, very generous tip. We really appreciate it. And also Kit Cassie Lake, thanks for making my mornings brighter from a progressive conservative who believes in universal healthcare and supports the CBC. Diversity of thought makes our country great. Yes, we are connecting with progressive conservatives as well. We really wanted that. Thank you so much, Kit Cassie Lake. Thank you so much. And please tell your friends. Please tell your friends.
Yes, please.
One quick little note for you that's really, really important. The CBC issued a retraction yesterday, a correction. Retracted the comment basically with Daniel Smith. There was a report on January 19th that a staffer in Smith's office sent emails that reportedly challenged decisions to prosecute cases stemming from the Coutts border blockade to Alberta Crown prosecutors. In May, Alberta's ethics commissioner found no evidence to support this claim and concluded it didn't happen. Upon the publication of that report, CBC re-interviewed certain sources, and they were not able to confirm that those emails were sent between the Premier's office and prosecutors. So the CBC has updated the story and related pieces, removing references about the contact between the offices, something the Premier has always vehemently denied. CBC News, in an editor's note, said that it regrets reporting direct contact by mail. This, however, now this is us saying, does not change the fact that she still applied pressure on her, basically, Attorney General. And he, when he talked to the ethics commissioner, said it was very clear that she was contacting him about trying to reverse this case. It wasn't about this, we were just talking and this kind of came up, that was the purpose of the call. And it still doesn't change the fact that she accepted a phone call from someone with a court case, a criminal court case with potential life in jail consequences, in order to discuss his case.
Yeah.
Doesn't change any of that. So she's not a virtuous person. She was just not lying about the specifics part. But we're facts first. So
facts first always.
Happy
2023.
Woohoo! All right, kids. Have a wonderful day.